Hello there, this is David from David Books and Comics, and today I'm going to continue on showing the excellent artwork of Paul Gulacy and the writing of Doug Monk in the Master of Kung Fu series. And the issues that I'm going to show from number 40 up to number 55 is some of the best work of Paul Gulacy and Doug Monk. And it will feature an 8-issue a graphic series, and that they both created and authored, that was unique for its time and still, as I like to say, remains a departure from subsequent comic books and comic book series and graphic novels since this time. So this is from 1976. This is issue number 40. And it continues on with the artwork of Paul Gulacy. And you see the flashback to the battle that he had with the cat, one of the great villains, if you want to call him that he encountered. And again, you see the panel by panel Gulacy artwork. Shang-Chi confronts Sir Dennis Nayland Smith, Blackjack Tar, and says he's ready to quit and leave MI6. As we know from the stories, at this point in his adventures, he was still heavily enmeshed in MI6. He had started the relationship with Liko Wu, who was introduced in the former issues that I showcased. And here we have a dramatic scene in between Shang-Chi and Liko Wu, where he reminds her that he never used the word love in their encounter together. Anyway, so that's that. And then we have Larner, who's introduced in these pages. And if you can see there, it's a photo reference to the actor Marlon Brando. It's an uncanny likeness. And you see Shang-Chi drawn a lot like Bruce Lee. And there's Clive Reston. Clive Reston is a unique character, because in these pages, you get a hint that he's related to Sherlock Holmes. And you can get a good look at Larner. You can see the likeness to Marlon Brando. All right, so that's... And we have excellent... this is Frank Levis and Dean Mullaney. Dean Mullaney, as I said, went on to be a comic book editor, but he also went on to write and draw for Iron Fist. He did a 4-issue run on Iron Fist, and he wrote the Destroyer series, part of the Destroyer, later novels of the Destroyer series. I think 3 or 4 books initially created by Richard Sapir and Warren Murphy. And here we have the dynamic art. People are trying to assassinate Shang-Chi. And of course, Larner returns the firepower. And there we have beautiful splash page. All right, so that's issue number 40. Cover art looks to be the work of Gil Kane. Yeah, more than likely Gil Kane. It's that one, number 40. And this is issue number 41. Famous cover. It's unsigned, but it's a good cover. And the artist here is Doug Monk. This issue 42, is the writer is Doug Monk. The artist is Sal Buscema and Mike Esposito. This is a flashback story. What's unique about this story is that it presents represents, I should say, the villain that we encountered in Master of Kung Fu number 16, which is Special Marvel Edition 16, Midnight. And it's basically a flashback and the return of Midnight into the Master of Kung Fu series. It's a flashback story. Midnight was a pretty good villain, one of the best villains in the series, but killed off at the very end of the series. This people don't note, but that's Mike Barron, who wrote the letter. Famous writer, artist. So there you go. And that's the reemergence of Midnight in Master of Kung Fu continuity. Interesting story. And it features the teacher who taught Shang-Chi the martial arts under the auspices of Fu Manchu. All right, so that's issue number 41. And this is issue number 42, and it features one of the great villains in the series. And artwork here is by Paul Gulacy. The villain is a guy named Shockwave, one of the best villains of the series. The inker is quite notable because he really shows his talent in this series. So it's Tom Sutton's. Tom Sutton did the inking. So basically what Shang-Chi is doing is checking out and following up a lead, basically. So there's Shockwave. Nice artwork. The inking style does seem to predominate over his work, over Gulacy's work. There you go. Beautiful artwork. And this is where Shang-Chi meets his match in terms of battle and fight. Shockwave, every time he strikes Shang-Chi, he literally gives him a jolt of electricity. Shang-Chi barely survives. And here we have Dr. Petrie. And Dr. Petrie takes a turn. Dr. Petrie is prominent in the Sax Rohmer Fu Manchu novels. He and Sir Dennis Nayland Smith, as I said before, are the main protagonists in the novel, fighting against the evil machinations of Fu Manchu. Anyway, so this is issue number 42. And this is issue number 43. 1976. The art and writing, Doug Monk writing, Paul Gulacy artist, Jack Avils the inking, does the inking on the artwork. And again, we're in a battle with Shockwave. And there's a good look at Larner. A good look at a photoshopped image, basically, of Marlon Brando. This is some of Gulacy's best work. But the best stories and artwork is yet to come. The good thing about Shang-Chi is that the artwork just gets better, and the series just gets better. And there's Shockwave getting the ultimate battle. Shang-Chi basically figures him out and is able to eventually knock him out of commission. And then we have a shock ending. This is Ducharme. Ducharme is one of the confidants of Fu Manchu. And then what's revealed basically in here, in this continuity, is that she actually betrays Fu Manchu and proves to be a secret agent of MI6. Beautifully drawn images of Paul Gulacy. So that's issue number 43. Rich Buckler did the cover. For this one, this issue, I can't tell. No, I won't hazard a guess. I can't tell. Anyway, so that's issue 43. And then we have issue number 44. This is from 1976. And this is a prelude to a long-running 8-issue series. This is the first part of the issue, the prelude, basically. Golden Daggers, A Death Run. Paul Gulacy, artwork, Doug Monk, writing. And here it tells you basically the origin of Ducharme, how she becomes the confidant of Fu Manchu, and how Sir Dennis Nayland Smith eventually encounters her, befriends her, and hires her to be a secret spy against Fu Manchu. This is Sir Dennis when he was very young. But somebody is betraying MI6, and they don't really know who. The comic seems to hint that it's Dr. Petrie. And the letters are by Ralph Macchio, who writes a lot of the letters in the letters page for Fu Manchu. And this is Liko Wu. All right. So this is the prelude to the long-running series. Shockwave is actually the nephew of Sir Dennis Nayland Smith. Petrie is betraying and is working two sides. and he reveals himself to be Fu Manchu's agent. Then we have an introduction or reintroduction of Fallo Sui. So this is the prelude, and then begins the series. And we are introduced to the series in number 45. The artwork for the cover here, I can't tell. It looks to be like Gil Kane, but I'm not sure. So this is part 1. You saw the prelude, and Shang-Chi is the one who basically narrates the entire account. Then we have a photoshopped image of Bruce Lee. Continuity panel. Martial arts action at its best. Lots of dialogue, atypical of Doug Monk's work. Dialogue when it's needed, and art when it's needed. And there's Lee Kuo-wu all captured. Yeah, so the series is very much, almost reminds you of Doc Savage with all of his assistants. Shang-Chi being the main lead protagonists. People like Larner, Clive Reston, Lee Kuo-wu function as proxy agents or proxy heroes in each of the stories. And there's a Gulacy trademark, panel by panel, in combination with the panoramic splash page. All right, so that's that. That's issue number 45. 46. And the story is told, the narration is done entirely by Clive Reston. This is part 2, The Spider Spell. The writer is Doug Monk, Paul Gulacy, artist, and Pablo Marcos does the inking. The inking for this issue is a little bit heavy, in my view, but still Gulacy's artwork. It does bring out Gulacy's work. Just a little bit heavy. Beautiful look. There you go. And then Shang-Chi is confronted by a sumo, which he does easy, short work of. So narration is entirely Clive Reston's words or thoughts. It's amazing how Doug Monk gets behind each of the characters and basically builds the characters with telling the story in first person account. So this is number 47, and this is told from the point of view of Lee Kuo-wu. This is part 3. Artwork, Paul Gulacy, inking, Pablo Marcos, Doug Monk's the writing. And this is still from 1976. The story is called Phantom Sand. And there's Dr. Petrie here being basically brainwashed through hypnosis. They're trying to restore his mind and find out why he had betrayed MI6. There's a wonderful use of continuity and action. Fu Manchu at his darkest. And there you go. That's Ducharme and Lee Kuo-wu, Clive Reston, and Larner. Very much in the spy action mode. And this is an iconic issue right here at Spectacular Spider-Man battling the tarantula. And so ends part 3. And again, this story is told from the perspective and narrated by this character, Lee Kuo-wu. All right. And then in issue 48, it's called Part 4, and it's told from the perspective of this guy, Blackjack Tar. So as you saw, each of the characters who tell their story, they're showcased on the very first page. Great series of a great series when it first came out. One of the original graphic novels, told in issue form, of course. So Doug Monk did the writing. Paul Gulacy did the artwork. This is from 1977. And this is one of the wordless use of paneling and action. Beautiful stuff. And here's another Gulacy favorite, the panoramic perspective. Again, the narration is entirely Blackjack Tar who's telling the narration. And what I don't remember is if Blackjack Tar is actually a character first introduced in the Fu Manchu, Sax Rohmer Fu Manchu novels. And here you have a scorched earth kind of image. Lots of text. Trademark of Doug Monk. Again, panoramic perspective. Beautiful stuff. And there's the narration balloons or squares are all blackjack. And then we have action galore. And there's the nice use of paneling. Very much in the Bruce Lee mode. Beautiful splash page, one of the major arch villains in the piece. All right. And so ends, how's this for image? It's amazing stuff. That's Gulacy. All right, so 48. And then 49. Cover art is by Ernie Chan, signed. And this is told from his perspective, from the perspective of Sir Dennis Nayland Smith. This is part 5. The Affair of the Agent Who Died, it says. Artwork is Gulacy, inking is by Pablo Marcos, writing is Doug Monk. Use of graduated paneling, or graduated paneling. And action sequence. A lot of these eyes conveying the perspective of each of the characters. And there's a nice one of Lerner. And that's Fallow Sui. I believe that's Fallow Sui. She's Shang-Chi's sister. Just fantastic stuff. And there's Foom, the big fan magazine thing. The Fans of Old Marvel. Foom, it was called. Nice use of paneling again. And here's Lerner. And this is a flashback. Lerner blamed Liko Wu for the death of his of the woman he loved. All right, so that's that one. And Lerner, unfortunately, meets his end. Hate to be the spoiler of that story, but anyway. All right, so tragedy. That's issue number 49. And this one is one of the denouement issues. This is part 6, and this is told from the perspective, if you want to believe it, of Fu Manchu, Shang-Chi's father. And this is March 1977 issue. The Dream Slayer, it's called. There he is, Fu Manchu. Beautiful kind of space opera type artwork. Almost mystical in its qualities. All right, so that's that one. Let's see, lots of ads, atypical of comic books in this day. And there is Ducharme. The elixir vitae, what he's holding is basically an elixir of immortality. That's how he stays young. There's a lot of science fiction in the Fu Manchu novels. Look at this one, Sir James Bond. How's that for a letter? Let you look at that. And there's even an address. Anyways. And there's basically the death of the arch villain. I remember reading this when it first came out. Basically what a huge there you go. And then we come to the eighth part of the series, which is the epilogue. So this is issue number 50. It's one of the key denouement issues. And this one is cover art by Paul Gulacy. It's one of the best covers in all of the series. This is issue number 51. And it's signed by the artist. The interior art, however, is done by another artist who is really quite good. His name is Jim Craig. This is the epilogue. Brass and Blackness. A death move. Interesting artwork by Jim Craig, who's a very good artist, by the way. It's one of the things about Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. The issues and the stories just got better and better, and the art quality never declined. All right, quite dynamic. So that's that. Nice use of paneling. Jim Craig is a good artist, competent, beautiful cover. One of the best covers in the entire series, showcasing Shang-Chi. And this is the next issue. This is issue number 52. And oh wow, Keith Pollard and Rufus T. Hackstabber. This is a great issue. Keith Pollard is one of the better artists in the series. This is from 1977 May. And this issue features Rufus T. Hackstabber, of course, looks like Groucho Marx. And we have the introduction of this character here, Quigley T. Warmflash. This is written by Doug Monk. It's quite humorous, actually. It's Keith Pollard at his best. This is the reintroduction of Tiger Claw, who first appeared in Master of Kung Fu. It says right there, giant size number 4. All right, so that's that. So that's number 52. And then we have 53. Oh, this is an interesting issue. And I'll show you why in a minute. It does have the artwork of Paul Gulacy when he first drew Shang-Chi. This is from Master of Kung Fu number 20. And this is basically a reprint, a reprint of number 20. And you can tell Gulacy's early style, which I've shown in a previous issue. featured Corain. I like the way he uses panelings to showcase. It's quite dynamic to showcase continuity and style. Continuity in story. All right, so that's that one. This is just a reprint issue, and which I've shown in when I first showed the first issues of Shang-Chi. All right, so that's that. That's issue number 53. And 54. This is nice artwork. This features art by Jim Craig and introduces the character Warrior. Nice dynamic artwork. Jim Craig is one of the better artists on the series. My favorites on the series were Doug Gulacy, Gene Day, of course, and Keith Pollard. Great action. Always consistent. One of the best series in comic books. Nice use of paneling. All right, so that's that. And this issue also features one of the first advertisings for Star Wars, the first issue of Star Wars. And this was from July 1977. And that year is when Star Wars was released in theaters. And this is the last issue I'll be showing for this round. This is from, have a look, August 1977. Mike Zeck is the artist. The writer is Doug Monk. The inker is Jim Mooney. And again, Mike Zeck is a good artist. Great artist, actually. As you can see, the use of colors and paneling. And there's the serum, the elixir vitae, the serum of immortality. All right, so that's that one. Coming to the end here, let's see. Interesting. And basically the plot is all about that elixir that keeps people young and alive. Kind of a tragic story. And what does happen? Oh no. 'Tis sad. All right, so that's that. Next issue, Warrior Part 2. So issue number 55. Nice cover. Beautiful cover. All right, so that's that. So if you like, as many have commented on my previous episodes on Shang-Chi, so there are some people who remember the greatness of the series. And they are now compiled in one large single volume. But there was a lot of fun in collecting these originals and reading them from their original sources with the original inking and cover art and storyline. It was just interesting to follow it chapter by chapter as you were reading it along. So I hope you enjoyed one of the best time periods, 1977, 76, 77, when Marvel produced one of the best comics in the business. This series of comic books, Hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. And if you enjoyed it, remember to give me that thumbs up. Click on the thumb, provide a link to my other previous videos. Thanks everyone for subscribe. Remember to subscribe. It does help the channel. And as always, important to comment, so feel free to comment. Thanks. Bye.